Go interactive with
Annette. I'm at the Parksville Fire Department speaking with Liz Olson about a very important event that's coming up in November. Hi Liz, and thanks for having us here. And what's going on?
We are having our 17th annual Food and Toy Drive, November 21st and 22nd in Parksville.
Okay, Food and Toy Drive, very important. Now, we have a lot of these every year, but this one here helps a very diverse community.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for non-perishable food products. Cash is welcome, and toys as well. It's a food and toy drive. Toys, new toys for any age group.
And all of the money is going to go to who is doing this?
The Salvation Army Food Bank.
Okay. Last year you raised how much?
23,000 pounds of food and 5,000 in cash. So,
how many years have you been doing this now?
17 years it's been going on. Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that you had a record year?
Yes, in 2013, 25,000 pounds. So we hope to exceed that this year. And it's a growing need, and we're doing better every year. So.
Well, it's sad to say that you're doing better every year getting more food, but that means there's more people that are looking for that food, that help, especially at Christmas time.
Absolutely.
Okay. When is the event going to take place?
Okay, so it's November 21st and 22nd. Parksville volunteer firefighters and their families and friends. We start out Saturday morning, 9, and we go to about 4 each day, and we go door to door. A week prior to the event, Quality Foods provides paper bags in our local newspaper, delivered to every door, and it allows people to fill them up ahead of time if they like. If they're not going to be home, and they can leave them in their carport, or we'll pick them up on over that weekend.
And I know what's happened too with the food drives when they've had those at the houses. If you happen to get overlooked, don't panic, because you will send somebody out there to get it, or they can drop it off.
Yes, we have drop-off at the fire hall as well that whole weekend, and if not, we usually get people coming in for a few weeks after the event to keep dropping food off. So.
Okay, thanks very much, Liz. Now remember, November 21st, 22nd in Parksville, it is the annual toy drive and food drive for the fire hall, and they will be giving out those bags a week before. Stock them up, leave them at the front door, just to help everyone out.
And the tree doesn't have to be green, you know, it can be whatever color that you want it to be. I'm Betty Godfrey, and I'm the president of the Nanaimo Harbour City Senior Society here in Nanaimo. We are a very busy group, and we're having a Crafty fun fair on November the 19th. This is sort of a bazaar and a fun fair, and we have games and contests and displays and sales. The Nanaimo Harbour City Seniors have 65 programs here at Bowen Park and at other facilities throughout the city. The crafters spend all year making toques, scarves, etc., and really good articles for sale. A lot of needlework from the embroidery and the quilters. The carvers have sales of carvings, wood carvings. They're very, very pretty. We have the artists who will be producing paintings and selling cards. The proceeds from this bazaar generally go to local charities. It's our main fundraiser for the community. This fun fair will be on November the 19th from 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon at Bowen Center, which is at 500 Bowen Road. We hope you'll see you then.
Go interactive with
Kate. Vancouver Island University is hosting Alcohol, Tobacco and Drug Use History, Policy and Regulation Symposium November 5th through the 7th. And one of the keynote speakers you're invited to participate in the talk is Philippe Lucas. He's the Vice President of Patient Advocacy here at Tilray. What can people expect if they come and hear you speak?
Well, I'm going to be going over a bit of the history of the federal medical marijuana program here in Canada, and then take people on a quick tour of Tilray. I think that there's a lot of interest as to what's going on here and in large-scale licensed producers as a whole. And really the history of medical marijuana in Canada now includes the history of research in Canada, and licensed producers like Tilray are deeply involved in that. And so I'm gonna also go through some published and also some pre-published research on patient experiences with medical cannabis.
And you were a patient yourself, and you know the benefits, and that's how you sort of ended up on this career path. That's a whole other story that we'll come back for another day, but we really are at a pivotal point in history, especially with the recent federal election. Where do you see things going?
Well, I think that, ultimately I'm an addictions researcher and always been supportive of public health approaches to some of our social challenges. And I think that we're finally getting to the point where we're going to end the 70 years of fear, prejudice, and misinformation that's guided our current drug policy and enter hopefully a period that's going to be focused on science, reason, and compassion. So I'm very optimistic and excited to see what happens over the next few years in cannabis policy, but also in drug policy as a whole in Canada.
What's been the biggest challenge? What have been the barriers up to now going back in time?
It's really ideological. There's really no scientific support for cannabis prohibition as we've seen it. 70% of our current drug war enforcement is focused on cannabis use and cannabis arrests. And we see that enforcement has just made cannabis use more dangerous for individuals. It's driven it underground. It's led people, it's giving tremendous control over the substance to the black market. And it's meant that end users in Canada, and in Canada about half the population will try cannabis in their lifetime, have no comfort as to the quality or the consistency of the cannabis product. That's something that we've dealt with here at Tilray, where we produce cannabis under very strict regulated circumstances. And I really hope to see that recreational access in the future as it comes along is going to hold the same quality standards for end users as well. I can't think of a good reason why recreational users wouldn't benefit from as high quality cannabis as patients in Canada right now.
So the public has been in alignment with the things that you're saying for quite some time. Is the government now coming closer into alignment with what the public has known for a long time?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a former city councillor in Victoria, and I can tell you that, my fellow elected officials, when I was a councillor from 2008 to 2011, at the municipal level in BC, were very supportive of cannabis reform. We've seen Vancouver and Victoria now move towards the regulation of community-based dispensaries as well. And I think that the federal government is finally getting on side as well. The election of the new Liberal Party government led by Justin Trudeau gives us an opportunity to become the first Western nation in the world to legalize and regulate adult access to cannabis, and that's a very exciting proposition, I think, for those of us who've been counting the many failures of prohibition for a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To hear more, you can attend the keynote speech from Philippe Lucas from Tilray Medical Marijuana Production in Canada. That's taking place at 2 o'clock on Saturday, November the 6th. We're going to continue looking at some of the history of drug, alcohol, and tobacco use in not just Central Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and Canada, as well as the rest of the world. Here's Cheryl at VIU.